Objectively speaking, 2025 was a fantastic year for not only League of Legends, but also for myself. But realistically speaking, it didn't feel so good. Every year on this channel, I make it a point to be open and be a little bit more honest with you guys on how things went throughout the year. The goals that we set for the beginning of the year, reflect on them, talk about how they went, and then set the goals for the upcoming year as well. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. And this video, honestly, I've been standing here for probably about 10 minutes just being avoidant on pressing play or pressing record. Because, oh man, is this year complicated to talk about. Let's do so, as we always do, through the lens of the goals. Last year, my goal was simple. The eights, the magic of the eights. 8K on YouTube, 8K on Twitter, 80,000 on TikTok, and that was a stretch goal, and I knew it. It wasn't supposed to be something that was possible, but something that, maybe you get through in a really damn good year. And one of those particular numbers I got very close on, and that was YouTube specifically. We're at, I think, 7,000. It will likely be 7,500 by the time this video goes out. So very, very close. And honestly, the platform that I'm probably the happiest with when it comes to how things shaped out by the end of the year. TikTok notably did grow. It actually was the biggest year of growth that I've seen since 2022, 2023. And with that, 60K, like mid 60s, which is good. Twitter still being Twitter. I hate that platform, but I love it at the same time. Like there's so much potential, but it just, I never know what to say about Twitter. Twitch was not as much of a focus, but I wanted to double my average viewership, which went from 7 to this year, right around 14. So yeah, doubled it. Amazing. So when you look at it from a numbers point of view, it's like, okay, well, they were stretch goals. You didn't hit them, but objectively, pretty good, all things considered. Then why does it feel like crap? There's a few reasons for that, and that can be seen in some of the additional goals that I set for myself. And the first was I wanted a bigger emphasis on New York City events. And you heard me talk about it if you haven't watched the video on the top 5 best moments of the year. The T1 watch party was amazing. It was fun. The events that we had throughout the year, and to be very clear, I appreciate everybody that came out for these events. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm just noting the drop in attendance that we saw from 2024 to 2025. That was a direct result of the LTA. I didn't change anything in terms of marketing. The people that did show up had just as much fun. People just genuinely cared less. And that was shown via the viewership, that was shown across the board everywhere. It took a pretty massive hit. And we felt that here. And it was amazing because I got to talk to Ninja, who's one of the guys who showed up each and every week. Every watch party, he was there. Diehard C9 fan. I love talking to him. We talked during the World's Finals watch party, and the first thing he said to me was, bro, imagine if we had this every week for the LCS. That'd be nuts. And I was like, dude, I know. It breaks my heart a little bit, but I know. Could I be putting more into the New York City events? Maybe, but I just don't have time and capacity to. I'm trying to organize everything as is. Luckily, Roxanne, who's a rock within the community, she's starting to actually do a little bit more in terms of the 1v1s. She's providing drinks for people. Bless her heart. She's an amazing woman and is helping grow the community that's showing up here each and every week. She's fantastic. She's doing what I can't. So I need to put more faith in the people around me and in the community as a whole to let it build up without feeling like I need to take so much responsibility for everything. Because I think with the return to the LCS this year, those watch parties could see a bounce back to at least where they were in 2024, maybe even higher as we approach Worlds in New York City. I'll get back to that in a minute. I talked about being a better partner, which from a brand point of view was fantastic. I've checked on the clicks and the number of times that I was getting people to visit Elgato's site, who was the only partner on this channel. I did a good job, or a much better job this year than I did last year, of making sure that I got people, activated with the sponsors of this channel. I want to make sure that I'm delivering value to them. Obviously, separate from them helping me and grow my channel and provide some of the equipment that you see here. So I feel like I did a better job there. Personally, on the better partner side, one of the things I talked about was wanting to start a family with my wife, which unfortunately we didn't get the chance to do because, again, entirely reliant on a promotion at work. That never came. Those of you that work in finance or in the business world right now, you know how hard things are. You know how frozen things are at the moment. I can't touch on it much, but just know that's been a struggle personally that I've been dealing with alongside all of this. I feeling like life is very much stagnant alongside the LCS kind of regressing a little bit. So it was a 1-2 punch of really hitting you hard, but I tried to keep it positive on social media as much as I could. Obviously, there's times where that kind of negativity, or not even negativity, but the sense or the loss of optimism in some areas did flow through. But overall, I feel like at least from a public perception point of view, I kept it together pretty good. So wrapping everything from 2025, like again, you can look at this and objectively say, yeah, good year. But it just felt like crap because now, like going into next year, the landscape's different. And I know I've touched on this a few times, but like I'm not going into this with trying to keep an eye on Travis and Dom and everybody else because like whether we admit to it or not, as creators, we're always looking at the other people in the landscape, seeing what we can learn, see what we can take away, see where we can find our niches to grow things. And I'll be honest with you, whether this is valid or not, like I've listened to the comments and I read the community notes here a good bit. There is a sense of pressure that I'm feeling on my shoulders going into this next year, which don't worry about burnout for those that have mentioned it a few times. No, that ain't going to be a problem. But it's trying to, for 2026, when setting my goals, be realistic about where things are at, the position that I'm in, and the responsibility that carries with it, not overvaluing it, but also not underselling myself in any way, shape, or form. This past year in 2025, I started to take a more global approach to League of Legends, which ended up being a very good like mentality to have because of everything falling off a little bit in North America. Setting myself up by trying to watch the LCK a little bit more, understand that a little bit more, have more focus on international events and building up towards those moments. You can see in the analytics, there's like 3 waves of like international, worlds. And I want to keep that focus this year because I feel like that's where the esport truly is progressing, despite obviously domestic leagues existing in their own capacity and me not necessarily being able to cover all of them. But I will continue to do what I did this past year, which is every morning, get my highlights on the LCK. I do watch the LEC for the most part. I watch the LCS, just provide that update on the Western leagues, the LCP and LPL. They just kind of are what they are. Somebody else can take care of those. But setting the tone for 2026, this is way more similar to 2022 and how I'm going to approach it. And some of you might not kind of get this, but for me, this is going to be a year-long journey leading up to the week of Worlds Finals. Like that is the most important week of my year. I've had people reach out already mentioning about different events that might be going on around New York City to possibly work with them, collaborate, or what it might be, or whatever that might be. Like the same feeling of the rush that existed with 2022 is here now, but Travis isn't. And many of the other faces of the space and of the content front are not here anymore. And while we'll still have Cadril, obviously, Dom will probably be able to co-stream by that point because I highly doubt C9's making it to a Worlds Finals. The landscape is drastically different than the last time we were in this position. And I want to make sure that I personally am doing justice on behalf of North America and North American creators for the international space. But most importantly, approaching that from the angle of you are coming to my home in New York. I'm about to show you what we have to offer. So with that in mind, it is those New York City events, continuing to build them up this year and make them as good as they can be and get the community activated and ready to engage for Worlds whenever it comes to our home territory. When it comes to being a better partner, again, getting my brands that I work with in front of people, maybe working with more if I can. I notably did work with Razer for the first time this year with both the mouse and keyboard thing that they sent out. As long as I believe that these partners are providing value to you guys or would be a benefit to you all as well, making sure that I can help push that and make sure it's also not encroaching on content in any way, shape, or form. And for the numbers themselves, I think the benchmark that I'm going to go for, the only stretch one that I'm pushing is YouTube, 10K in 2026. I'm going to continue to keep 80K as the goal on TikTok. I think that's very reachable if I do things right. And then 3,000 on Twitch. That is pretty much going to be reliant upon co-streaming. Like if I can get rights to co-streaming, then that feels very, very doable. If not, that might be a little bit impossible. But the reason why I say this is a focus on 2026 is for the first time ever, I'm going into the year without a team. And I know that choice will be made before Split 2 is done, but it is pretty drastically impacting how I'm viewing my goals and how I'm benchmarking this. And also what comes by the end of this year, because my main goal over everything is that once I pick my team, by the end of the year, I want to have this whole 2025 as a resume to basically say, hey, whatever org I pick, if you don't pick me up as a creator that can help represent your brand, but also be a good face on League of Legends as a whole, in the same way that Scump is for Call of Duty, in the same way that Zuma is for FaZe, and Call of Duty, those types of heads. I know I'm not their size, okay? I know I'm not going to grow to be their size because North America is not conducive to that. And also, I don't have the time in my life to focus like that much on content to make the massive improvements that are needed. But I can be the rock that they as a brand or that they as a team of my team need me to be, that North American fans can trust me, that international fans can look to us as an example, pushing the space forward. I want to provide the best resume possible by the time that World's Final wraps up in November in my hometown, that it's pretty much a no-brainer that I should be brought on as a content creator for my team. And then we can adjust the next 4 years until Worlds returns back to New York City and North America around the idea that the next time it comes back, hopefully we can sell out a full arena of our fans. This was a goal I had with 100 Thieves that I realized over the last 3 years felt less and less and less possible because 100 Thieves was slowly leaving the space. And my choice of team this year makes that dream come more to the forefront again. I'm so happy that Timothée Chalamet specifically is having a fantastic end of the year, because one of the things that I believe in that he has also stated is that when you are striving to achieve greatness or you have something that you are specifically trying to do, whether that's, in my case, an abnormal vision for an esport in a region that does not have the kind of things that I want to see in it. Europe has it, but I'm trying to bring those to North America in a more American sense, or something that's more natural to us than European football culture is. You need to be loud, you need to be proud, and you need to be vocal about that and speak on that during the journey. There's no shame in tryharding like many in media have made it out to be. I have something that I'm pushing for, that I want everybody to benefit from, and I need to bust my ass to be willing to get there. And I believe I can do that. And I want to use this year in 2026 to 100% prove that without a shadow of a doubt. Is it going to be easy? God, no. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of stress. And hell, if I do get that promotion at work, we could be throwing a pregnancy on top of all that. So this could be a wild 2026. It could be a fantastic year. It could be a frustrating year. I don't know what's to come. But just know, as always, I will be here. You will get 3 YouTube videos a week, no matter what. You will get 2 short form videos on both TikTok and YouTube Shorts every single day. And no matter what anybody around the world says, we are here to put North America on the map when it comes to League of Legends. Many people have asked, well, why don't you do like a Hotline League thing? Fill the gap or fill the hole that Travis left. And well, I understand that I am walking in his footsteps. I want to carve my own path here. And Travis was never necessarily a team guy. I mean, I know there's some people that are, but like I have a very specific vision in mind. And it's the Shinnok way. And that's what I eat, sleep, and breathe. And I'm going to keep pushing that. So if you're along for the journey, if you were at any point this year, or if you've been around since the beginning, thank you. I appreciate all of your support in 2025. Cheers to a happy new year, and let's make 2026 the best yet. I'm freaking ready.